Not every woman deserves your time, your energy, or your loyalty. Some women nurture your growth, inspiring you to be your best. But others, they drain you. Slowly, quietly, with a smile that hides their true intentions. The worst part, they don't come with a red flag. They come wrapped in charm, beauty, and sweet words. They walk into your world like they're everything you've been waiting for, but they leave you shattered. You think it's love. You think it's real. But deep down, your confidence fades, your focus wavers, and your peace disappears. A low-value woman isn't just a bad match. She's a threat to your mind, your heart, and your life. But how do you recognize her before it's too late? How do you shield yourself from chaos disguised as perfection? Today, I'm breaking down 6 clear signs you need to know. Protect your power, protect your peace. Let's begin. Sign 1, she thrives on drama and chaos. Some women can't seem to exist without turmoil. They need tension in the air like others need oxygen. If life gets calm, she'll stir up a storm just to feel alive. Why? Because for her, peace isn't safety, it's suffocating. Silence feels empty, not soothing. This is the kind of woman who will turn calm waters into crashing waves. She'll ignite arguments over the smallest things, twist your words until you barely recognize what you even said, and accuse you of actions you've never taken. It's not about resolving issues for her, it's about creating them. Then she'll pull away without explanation, not because she's hurt, but because she enjoys the chase, watching you react, watching you walk on eggshells. You've probably heard the excuses before. I just like a little drama. It keeps things exciting. Or, nice guys, they're too boring. That's not passion. That's dysfunction wrapped up in a pretty package. A well-balanced woman values stability, clarity, and genuine connection. But a woman addicted to drama, she thrives in chaos. She doesn't want peaceful skies, she wants the storm. And the cruel irony, she feels most powerful when you're disoriented, constantly second-guessing yourself to avoid upsetting her. Soon, you'll find yourself filtering every thought, hesitating before every move. You'll wonder if you're the problem. But here's the truth, that's not love, that's survival. Relationships shouldn't feel like walking a minefield. She may not tell you this, but there's only one way you win this game. Don't play it, walk away. And when you do, she might panic and try to pull you back, or she'll blame you as she walks out the door. But either way, you gain something invaluable. Peace. Peace isn't a prize you fight for, it's a choice. A choice that starts with who you allow into your life. Have you ever dealt with someone who created chaos just to feel in control? If so, you already know the toll it can take. Choose peace over pandemonium. Always. Sign 2. She's addicted to validation. You could give her your time, energy, and every ounce of love in your soul, but with a woman addicted to validation, it will never be enough. Your love isn't what she craves. She craves attention. She lives for the admiration of others. Watch closely and you'll notice it. Not in her words, but in her actions. Social media becomes her stage, a digital mirror reflecting back the world's approval. Every photo she posts is meticulously curated, every caption designed to spark curiosity or earn a compliment. It's not about sharing her life, it's about gaining applause. When you question her motives, she'll quickly dismiss your concerns. I can't help it if people comment, she might say, or it's just a picture, you're overreacting. But her message is clear. Her need for external praise outweighs her respect for your feelings, and that's the problem. It's not about you, it's about the validation she seeks from everyone else. Then the blame loop begins. She'll flip the conversation, accusing you of being insecure or jealous. But here's the truth, brother. You're not insecure, you're just paying attention. Her unspoken confession is this: she's performing. One foot is in the relationship, but the other is in a world of likes, hearts, and superficial attention. It's exhausting to be with someone more invested in gaining followers than strengthening genuine connection. A high-value woman doesn't measure her worth in clicks or comments. She only values the respect of the man she admires. Her sense of self isn't dictated by strangers, but with a woman hooked on validation, you'll slowly start to feel invisible. The reality? You can't outlove her addiction to approval. She'll always need more from the world, leaving less for what's real, including you. Relationships are built on trust, not continuous performances for the public eye. Ask yourself this: do you want to compete with an entire audience for her attention? You deserve someone who sees you, not just the spotlight. Sign 3, she has zero accountability. With every misstep she takes, somehow the blame always shifts to someone else. You'll know her by the way she dodges responsibility like it's an Olympic sport. When her life doesn't go as planned, it's never her decisions at fault. She'll point fingers at her upbringing, the economy, her last boyfriend, or even you. Anyone but herself. This woman isn't just avoiding accountability. She actively rewrites reality to avoid it. If she cheats, it's because you were distant. If she disrespects you, it's because you made her mad. When she's broke, it's her boss's fault. Or her parents didn't give her enough. You see the pattern. It's a never-ending loop of excuses. But the most dangerous part? Over time, you'll become her go-to scapegoat. If something goes wrong, it's suddenly your fault. She'll manipulate situations so well that you might even start believing it. You'll lie awake at night asking yourself, was I too distant? Did I mess this up? But hold on to this truth. It's not you, it's her refusal to face the mirror and take responsibility for her actions. A high-value woman? She's different. She owns her mistakes, learns from them, and grows because of them. She doesn't deflect blame. She looks inward instead of pointing outward. But a low-value woman will drag you into her narrative of deflection. And sooner or later, her inability to grow will stunt your own. The longer you stay, the heavier her baggage becomes. You'll carry the weight of her choices, her issues, her mistakes. But here's the thing, you can't fix someone who doesn't even admit they're broken. Walking away isn't quitting. Sometimes it's survival. Choosing your peace over her chaos isn't selfish, it's smart. High-value relationships aren't about constant conflict resolution or endless forgiveness. They're about stability, growth, and accountability. Have you ever found yourself apologizing just to stop an argument you didn't even start? That's not partnership. That's emotional exhaustion. Choose differently. Choose peace. Always. Sign 4. She uses emotional manipulation to control you. There's a kind of woman who doesn't shout, accuse, or beg for what she wants. She doesn't need to. Instead, she orchestrates her dominance through subtle emotional tactics that bypass your logic and attack your heart. You don't see it at first, but slowly, you start feeling guilty even when you've done nothing wrong. It begins with small moments. A disagreement arises, and instead of talking it through, she retreats into silence. Maybe she sighs heavily or gives you a look that screams hurt but refuses to explain. When you make plans that exclude her, she doesn't object outright, but she'll subtly frame it as abandonment. It's fine, she'll say, but her cold demeanor leaves you questioning whether it really is. That's how the trap is laid. Suddenly, you're canceling plans, adjusting behaviors, and avoiding anything that might upset her, even when her reactions are disproportionate to reality. You're not acting out of love, but out of fear. And here's the dangerous part. Every time you give in, you validate her control. Without saying a word, she learns guilt works better than demand. Contrast her with a high-value woman. When something bothers her, she communicates it openly and honestly. If she's hurt, she doesn't punish with silence or manipulation. She fosters clarity to build a stronger bond. But the other kind of woman? She thrives in ambiguity. She knows that by pulling strings of guilt, she can make you act against your own needs and instincts. You must break the cycle. When you sense manipulation, address it with calm strength. If something's wrong, tell me directly. I won't play guessing games. Stand firm and don't allow silence to steer your actions. A Stoic man prioritizes clarity over guilt, strength over emotional fog. Love should inspire freedom, not chains. Have you ever felt trapped by a relationship where you couldn't shake the feeling of always being in the wrong? That's not love, that's control. Sign 5, she has no long-term vision. A woman without a plan for her life will have no plan for yours. A high-value woman looks ahead. She moves with intention, builds towards something meaningful, and values stability. On the contrary, a low-value woman lives in the moment, not in the liberating, spontaneous way you might initially admire, but in a way that screams recklessness. Her life is a series of impulsive decisions. You'll see it in how she talks about her goals, except she doesn't really have goals, she has whims. She jumps from one job to the next, always blaming the boss, the workload, or the toxic environment, never stopping to reflect that the common denominator in her dissatisfaction is her lack of discipline. When it comes to money, there's no plan, no budget, no saving for the future. It's all about instant gratification. She might say you only live once, but her idea of living isn't building. At first, she might seem like a breath of fresh air. She's adventurous, she's fun, and she's always up for anything. But over time, her carefree approach begins to feel heavy. Her debt mounts, her career stagnates, and her excuse-making takes over. She doesn't understand the kind of consequences that weigh heavily on those who try to build something substantial in life and love. The difference between a woman like this and one with vision is stark. A high-value woman aligns her life with her values. If she dreams of a future, she works for it. She respects the process and seeks a partner who shares her ambition and ethics. A low-value woman, however, will drain your resources, time, and plans because she can't bring direction to her own. Ask yourself this question when you feel like you're carrying the weight of someone else's recklessness. Is harmony even possible with someone who rejects responsibility? Sign 6, she doesn't respect masculinity. Every high-value man deserves a woman who respects his strength, courage, and ability to lead. A woman who truly values herself, understands the role of masculinity not as a threat but as a complement. Yet in some cases, you'll encounter women who see your strength as competition, not an asset. These are the women who reject balance between masculine and feminine energy and get gruffith instead of support. They challenge you at every step. When you offer to take the lead, they push back, not because they want equality, but because they want superiority. Say you'll handle something and she'll bristle with, "I don't need a man to take care of me." If you set boundaries with conviction, she'll call you controlling. Every decision you make seems to spark resistance instead of respect.
But why? Most of the time, it stems from insecurity. For some women, a history of betrayal or poor examples of masculinity has left deep wounds. Others have been taught that power belongs only to those who take it. But regardless of the root cause, a woman who competes with your masculinity will make your life a battlefield. Your natural role as a leader, protector, and provider becomes diminished, not because of who you are, but because of her inability to see value in true masculinity. Here's the truth you must never forget. Masculinity isn't controlling, toxic, or oppressive when wielded with discipline and honor. It creates structure for chaos and foundation for growth. A high-value woman doesn't fight against this. She trusts it. She knows that your strength doesn't diminish hers, but supports it. If you continue shrinking yourself to keep the peace, you'll lose the very essence of what makes you a man. A true relationship isn't a tug of war. It's a partnership built on mutual respect, trust, and shared purpose. Think about it. Are you truly respected for the man you are, or are you defending your masculinity simply to survive the relationship? Make your choice wisely. Peace, growth, and clarity in your life depend on the people you allow into it. Protect these values at all costs. If you've seen these signs, listen to your instincts. Respect yourself enough to walk away from relationships that drain you and step into the kind of love that builds you. If you found value here, like and subscribe to the Stoic Spirit. What's your experience with these signs? Share your thoughts below.